What is up, For Honor family? For Honor dropped another emote that is the epitome of where we are with the game in year 9. And while this is by no means a new topic, it's one that I haven't discussed in length in a while, and I want to know your thoughts, so here we go. When you see a game like Assassin's Creed Shadows, you immediately have an idea of what you're getting. You can go stealth, or you can go with a more brute force approach. Now what I mean by mentioning this is you understand the tone of the game you are playing at all times. Now, Assassin's Creed Shadows is not a multiplayer game, so I'll move on from that and try to go apples to apples. So let's say you jump into Chivalry 2, where the combat slows down a notch compared to For Honor, and you plod your way through the battlefield. Or you jump on Call of Duty, or Counter-Strike, where the combat speeds up. Even if you throw in a 1v1 centric multiplayer game like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, which are also faster paced combat games, you notice what is true with all of them. You understand the multiplayer experience that you will get with each one of them. For Honor is different. If you're on the outside looking in, it can come across as something it is not. Just look at it. You see Knights, Vikings, and Samurai on the logo. Even the new logo. You look at all those heroes or hero skin related trailers, and even some of the seasonal trailers, and they all lead you down a fantastical fighting journey. Now put yourself in the place of someone just starting this game in year 8 or year 9. After seeing these trailers, you log in and you decide to jump in the story mode. I'm sure for the most part, it epitomizes what you think you're getting. A grounded but fairly serious fighting game. What happens once you get through that? You figure out the hero you want to use, maybe choose a hero similar to the story mode heroes that you ran across, or maybe you're just ready to jump into the fray and start your multiplayer experience. If you start off playing PvP Dominion due to its very high activity, that's going to be the point you begin to realize not only how outdated story mode is, but also how much you have to learn. It's more than just blocking in 3 directions. It's the bashes, the unblockables, the undodgeables, the buffs, the debuffs, perks, feats, ganking, revenge, and just a litany of things you have to worry about and learn. Even so, that still fits what you've witnessed up to this point. So I don't see how anyone wouldn't be on board after this, unless you're not up to the challenge of the learning curve of For Honor. Then you start to run into the player behaviors, the good fight, and sorry spam. If you're on PC, you'll see the text chat where people will express that they love playing with you and they can't wait to link up and get a few matches with you in the future. And that's sarcasm. Then the player witnesses the emote spam that the dev team built into the game and all of the effects that causes For Honor to truly take a turn. In some cases, it's even the executions, but mostly it's the emotes and effects. With the introduction of these funny or comical elements, it changes the tone and the mood in the quote-unquote battlefield. It lightens it and makes it easier to not take the game as serious when you see these types of things. I'm not saying it's a bad thing if that's how you want this game to come across, which appears they do, but they also don't express this by what is offered leading up to the multiplayer experience, and that's part of my problem with it. They present the players something different on the surface than what is underneath. I believe the beginning of every Dom match feels epic. I love it. The minions running out, the horn going off, you have attackers and defenders, and each team can try to push their strategy to victory. I love that feeling every time, and I'm not joking, every time. But there's many times after that initial rush, if players fail, they leave. That's not part of the identity issue though. That's just annoying to deal with, so I'm gonna get back to it. That's just the extracurricular stuff. But look at the spider spew emote, for example. How else do you think players are going to use this? It's not going to be any way but toxic, and there are many more like it. I just wish players knew and were prepared for what they were getting into from the very beginning of starting this game. Not everyone looks at YouTube or Reddit before they start. They jump in the game and they go from there, especially when you got it for free on Game Pass anyway. Based on the initial experience of going through the story mode, tutorials, and then playing multiplayer, For Honor can appear as a facade, masquerading as one game, but in reality, being another. Ultimately, they want you to decide how you want to play it. That's how I see it. The problem is, they don't have the modes to allow players to focus and choose how they want to play it. There is no ranked Dom or Brawl for players like myself that aren't in love with duels, so you are left with all types of player personalities in the same sandbox. Dominion in this comparison, playing this game in multiple ways based on what they want to get out of it. This is where I think having a ranked Dominion mode where players can't group up would be best. This would avoid teams jumping in with experience and focus on experienced players understanding each other's actions. I think that would make for a better ranked mode. If teams want to group up, they can group up in custom matches, or they can provide like an on and off toggle that would allow players to choose if they wanted to go against other players that are in groups or not. I think that would be sufficient. But with that being said, I still love For Honor. And like any marriage, both of you have flaws, the players and the devs in this case, You have to work with each other, communicate, and we can do that through testing grounds and Reddit, and take the good with the bad. In the end, you're still together, and you're trying to make it work. And while I'm not happy with some of the silly emotes or playful executions they release, I know they still provide enough of the things that I do like, which is tweaking heroes to improve them, fashionable hero skins, new heroes, actually good and funny non-toxic emotes, the occasional engaging lore that leads to the new heroes, and the occasional new Dom map. Wish that we can get a few more of those, but I'm good with what we got. Those things keep me engaged, along with some fun matches with most players that I run into. I want this game to stay for a while longer. I want more players to play it more often, but has that ship sailed? Have too many players divorced For Honor for other games? Or can new and old players alike keep this game going for years to come? All I know is I'll be here till server death do we part. But what do you think? Do you think For Honor has an identity issue? If so, what is it? And if not, let me know why you think it does. Thank you for stopping by the channel. There's so many videos you could tune into, and you decided to view this one today. I will always be appreciative of that. Take care of yourself. Till next time, y'all. Peace.